When my very first robot vacuum, a Eufy C20 Omni, arrived, I couldn't wait to get this machine going through its paces. But when I looked through the instructions, I felt intimidated. The information looked complicated and mysterious, and there was an app involved to boot. How deep was my learning curve going to be? I asked myself. Stay tuned, and I'll tell you what happened and how it all worked out. First of all, when I opened the box, imagine how surprised I was to find no instruction manual, just this cardboard poster of instructions. At first blush, I felt I was facing a wall of hieroglyphs. I thought, well, this clearly isn't going to be plug and play. Of course, it wasn't that bad. I took a deep breath and looked at the poster again. Okay, hold on, it all makes sense. There's a section about opening the box and taking out the goodies. Okay. The RoboVac has its own special box with a handle inside the larger box. You pull that out first. Next, you take out the tower/docking station. Done and done. Next, the poster has a section about setting up the machine. Uh-oh, the poster shows you need specific areas of clearance around the front and sides of the tower/docking station. Oh no, I didn't have enough room in my kitchen to comply. But wait a minute. A quick Google search informs me that those are optimal spacings, but that the RoboVac should work even if the spacings aren't optimal. Okay then, we're back in business. Next, plug in the machine. That I can handle. So next, I lift out the water tank on the left as you face the front of the machine. I fill it up to the fill line. When you close it, make sure you hear the top click gently into place. The instructions say to do that. So then I fit it back into the tower. The water tank has a pretty circle of white light, a halo, that glows reassuringly when all is well. The other tank on the right is empty. It's for dirty water. Now we get to the section about getting the robot ready to rock and roll. You have to remove the little clear protective stickers from the sides and top of this cleaning beetle. Next, position the RoboVac in place inside its tower/dock. Do that with a gentle lift and push into place. Next, scan the QR code on the wall of hieroglyph, the instruction poster, to download the Eufy app. From there, it's click on the app and, okay, before I get to that, let's take a moment to admire the RoboVac and to enjoy the sticker that I got from an Etsy store. In my estimation, the machine looks a lot like a large bug. My husband made the same observation. For me, the sticker definitely gives it a little personality to offset that slight get the can of Raid inclination. Okay, so back to the app. When the app shows you the RoboVac is fully charged, the first thing you need to do is let the little guy go and have a look around. By that I mean you're going to select and hit Start on the app and let the RoboVac map the house. The machine uses a LiDAR sensor that employs laser light to scan its surroundings and see what it has to deal with. It's the same technology that's used in self-driving cars. How cool is that? My home is a ranch with a complex layout. It took my machine about 40 minutes to map the rooms. Once it's finished mapping, it will return to its dock and the app will display the map for you to edit. It's very simple to edit the map and give names to the rooms or zones of your house. You can divide or combine rooms or zones, and you can create no-go zones for the machine to avoid. Let's proceed to what happens once you've had your room set up on the app to your liking and you're ready for RoboVac to rumble. First, since the C20 Omni does not have a camera, scan the room or rooms you want cleaned and remove any objects on the floor. Toys, stacks of books, etc. Next, you select the RoboVac item on the app and tap Enter. Then I like using the Rooms option. I like to choose 1 or 2 rooms for the RoboVac to work on any given day. So on the map, I select Room, then I hit Customize to select the settings for the way I want to clean the room. You're given a few options. First, whether you want to vacuum and mop, or if you want to vacuum only or mop only. Second, how many times you want to go over the room, once or twice, and Third, the amount of suction you want the vacuum to use, from quiet to standard to turbo to max. I usually choose max. Why not? Fourth, how much water you want the mop heads to use, a regular amount or a higher amount. If it's been several days since I last mopped, I choose the maximum amount, otherwise I choose the lower amount. So you've made your selections, and then you have to remember to go to the top right corner and click on the little green arrow to save those settings. But if you forget, don't worry, the app will prompt you to save the settings. That will take you back to the previous screen. There, you hit Room and then Start, and the machine will trek off to start cleaning. And by the way, if at any time you want to stop the machine, you can hit Home on the app, and the RoboVac will go quietly back to its docking station. Here are the selections I make to clean my kitchen floor. From Room, I'm going to select the kitchen for it to clean. Then I'm going to select Customize so I can check that it's customized to my liking. I see that it's set for vacuum and mop, and that's fine. And it's set for max cleaning for the vacuum, and that's fine. And it's set to go over the flooring only once versus twice. And since I've cleaned it only a few days ago, and I know it only needs a light once over, that's fine. So I click on the green check mark on the upper right corner to let it know that yes, these settings are the settings I want. Then I press Room and I hit Start, and the magic starts to happen. Here we go. Since I chose mop as one of my options, the machine is cleaning its 2 mop heads before it goes through its paces, and that takes a few minutes. Is it noisy? Yes, it's on the noisy side, but the noise has never bothered me. Hey, this machine is going to mop my floor, and I don't have to. Burble away. That's the sound of progress, friend. Here it is, rearing to go. Well, sort of. First it has to use its LiDAR to figure out where it is and where to go, and it does this little routine of spinning around as part of that process, which I think is adorable. The Omni C20 uses LiDAR in place of a camera. It's not having a camera is one of the reasons I bought it. What my ankles look like is my business. The Eufy Omni C20 is the best of what I call the dumb robots. It has no spy eyes. I mean, no camera. Nothing to see here. That's just me convincing myself that using a dumb RoboVac and not using Alexa is preserving a tad more of my privacy. If you know better, don't spare my feelings. Let me know what you know in the comments. Spill, but not on my kitchen floor or on my carpeting. That's a little robot vacuum humor right there. Okay, so the machine starts its routine by going around the perimeter of the room you've told it to clean. It'll go all around edges, using its sweep arm to get as much dust and debris as it can. And then it'll commence a back and forth pattern to get the rest of the floor clean. It stops mopping when it senses carpeting, like this little mat, and it restarts mopping when it gets back on the linoleum. Yes, I have linoleum. I think it's original to the house. The linoleum, I mean. The linoleum is in good shape, and I like retro stuff. Why not? Okay, I'm stuck in the 90s, and I'm happy about it. So this machine really does a nice job with corners and high traffic areas that get crumbs and spills. Now, if you have something that's really sticky and that's dried onto the flooring, the machine is not going to clear it first pass. It's not a miracle machine that way, although it is a miracle machine overall. Who's kidding who? Of course it is. It mops your kitchen floor for you on command. But no, it won't get dried up jelly first pass. What I do is, after it completes its task and docks, I'll check for any spots it may have missed, and if I find one, I wet a paper towel and clean it by hand. Quelle horreur! But honestly, after the second or third time I used it to clean the kitchen flooring, I haven't found any stickies like that. And as far as getting surface dust and dried spills that are not ingrained, the machine is great. In fact, it's super. Here you can see that the app shows you the path it took where it cleaned. I had it go over this flooring once, so it has stripy lines in one direction. If I'd set it to go over the kitchen twice, you'd see lines going in the other direction too, so a grid. Here's the machine positioning itself to go back home to its dock. It backs right into it like a little car going into a garage. I think it's adorable. After that, it empties its vacuum bag. Some people might think it's very noisy, but the noise doesn't bother me. You're talking about maybe a minute or two of noise versus a noisy upright vacuum that you have to run for 10 or 20 minutes. that drowns out conversation through all that time. Okay, so no contest. If you've used the RoboVac to mop a floor, it will also wash its mop heads for several minutes with clean water after it's finished its work. Also a bit noisy, but not as noisy as the bag emptying. After it washes the mops, it will air dry them, and that takes 3 or 4 hours. It's an important part of the maintenance for the vacuum because it keeps the machine from developing odors. And yes, you can hear the air drying noise if you get close. It's a low-level hum, but it's almost unnoticeable even at a short distance. So, what's my final verdict on my new Eufy C20 RoboVac? It's this. The setup wasn't so bad after all. And, to tell you the truth, the C20 Omni has swept me off my feet. In fact, if you want to take away my little round helper bot, you'll have to pry it out of my warm, unchapped hands. It's a keeper. I'd love to hear about your experience with the Omni C20. Leave your comments below, and if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Thank you.